real with people,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's the kind of coach that I am, because if I see that someone is, you know, ready, wanting to change, but they're getting trapped in their own mindset, I'm going to call it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to help them to process that, to release it, to reframe it, you know, in a different way so they can move forward. I mean, that is what growth and expansion is all about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable because, you know, your brain's going to tell you something different, because our brains are built to, you know, to keep us alive, to keep us comfortable, to keep us safe. That's the job of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So that brain's always telling you, oh, don't go out there. Don't take that risk. Stay home on the couch. You know, stay home. Be safe. Don't try anything new. But then you have a higher mind up here that's telling you, oh, I could possibly. But, you know, for a lot of us, this lower mind down here drowns it out.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely drowns out that higher mind. And I help people switch that about. I help them listen more to the higher mind and understand, you know, have sympathy for their lower brain that's trying to protect them, but you don't have to pay attention to it. You don't have to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's work, but it's not something that's impossible to change, for sure. I'm proof of it, you know. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me. Really, yeah.
Yes, it takes a very long time to learn how to check yourself, and also that you should as well. Because I mean, I know so many other people who've been there time and again and still go there, where you're blaming yourself for things and then you get mired in very negative feelings towards yourself. And I suppose one thing that I use is, imagine one of your best friends and somebody was saying those things about that person. How would you feel? And you think, well, I would, you know, the superhero outfit would come out, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Why can't you be that friend to yourself? You know,
exactly. But I mean, sometimes, like when the, you know, what is that phrase they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Like, if you're ready, if you're actually ready, if you're fed up enough living the way you're living, if you feel deep in your soul that there's something else for you in your life, that you're ready, you know, you're ready then to make a change. You're open to different perspectives, to different ways of thinking. I've seen people make a shift within a couple of weeks, Paula. Like, really, truly change their lives around within a couple of weeks. I mean, that's profound, you know, and it is just a shifting perspective. I could say, or you could say, or, you know, they could read something or do a certain activity and just a light bulb comes on. You know, it's different things for different people. So, like, even though I say, yes, it's work, and yes, it's uncomfortable, and yes, you have to be diligent about it, you know, it can happen quite quickly for people who are like, they're ready. You know, you've tried this, that, the other thing, and it's, you know, it hasn't gotten you where you want to be, right? And you still feel like there's more, but you don't know what that more is. That's the time to go inside. That's the time to tap into your soul's compass. That's the time to go in there and find out, what is it? What is it that sets me on fire? You know, what do I want to do with my life? You know, I in my show, in the Song Series show, I don't know if you've seen this or if anyone listening has seen it. Jane Fonda did a TED Talk. I believe it was TED Talk. Now, I might be wrong about that, but I think it is a TED Talk called The Third Act.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it, but she talks about how, you know, you reach a certain point in your life when, you know, you have to come to terms with, okay, you know, time is kind of running out here. What do I really want to do? What is my third act, right? Where am I going to get that fulfillment? And she says something really wise there, and I actually refer to this in my show, is that it's not the well, way do I put it now? It's not the experiences that make us wise. It's the wisdom that we take from the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
That's different, right? When you look at it, that is not our experiences that make us wise, but it's the wisdom that we take from them. In other words, it's the perspective. It's how we look at things. It's how we look at our lives. We can choose to look at our lives as a victim or as a warrior, right? We can choose our thoughts. When that turned on, when that idea like just latched onto me, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. You know, and it's changed everything. That one little thought, right?
And it's never too late in life, I think, is
Never.
probably an important thing to point out. Would you
Never.
get a range of ages in your workshops?
I do. From people, generally though, they're in their probably early 40s. I have some people in their 70s.
Right.
You know, it's which is kind of smack dab where I'm in the middle of. I'm 55 myself in a couple of weeks' time, and actually next week. And yeah, and thank you. And you know, I think it sort of goes back to this Jane Fonda thing, is that you do reach a point in your life, because, you know, in our 20s, in our 30s, we're busy. Oh my God, we're busy. We're, you know, we're doing all the things, doing all the stuff, and building careers and families and all of this kind of stuff, and getting educated and all that stuff. And, you know, we don't necessarily think about our life being on a time clock, when really it is, you know. I mean, since the day we were born, we've been dying.
Yeah.
Right? So, but when you get to this point in your life, I think, and you still feel there's more. You know, it happened for me around 43, right? And I don't know, something shifts. It's like, I gotta find this out. I can't die without finding this out. What it is I'm supposed to do here. What it is I'm supposed to do in my life. You know, what is that thing, right? You know, and it can take some time to discover it, right? But it's possible, completely possible. And you're never too old to learn new tricks, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you learned anything new yourself recently?
Oh my goodness, I'm always learning. I'm an avid reader. And of course, you know, running an online business, and COVID kind of lit a fire underneath me for this, getting things up online. I've had to learn how to build websites and landing pages, and, you know, capture forms and mail systems, and integrating all of that when doing social media and all of that stuff. So, I mean, you know, that's a big chunk of what I have to do as well. If I want to get my message out there, is coming and talking to people like you, Paula, too, you know? And, right. So, you know, I mean, it is a process. I never considered myself a techie, not in any stretch of the imagination. But the things that I have had to learn how to do since I started painting, which is only 3 years ago, you know, in 2017. And if you had to tell me in December 2016 that I would have built a website, that I was taking contracts internationally to paint, that I'd be after writing a book, recording a CD, becoming a life coach, I would say, you're crazy, right? You know, I could not have seen all that. But now I can see how everything has led me to here. This is my purpose. This is why I'm so passionate. It's why I come alive when I talk about these things. You know, it's why I'm so driven to help people. achieve transformation in their lives. It comes straight from my heart and soul, right? Mm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just thinking. Yeah. I'm just thinking through my questions because we've touched on a lot of stuff anyway. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering as well, because I think just to think about your life coaching again a little bit, because I know in myself, I'm sure many listeners out there, possibly even yourself in the past as well, have struggled with things like confidence and assertiveness. And I mean, when people are undergoing the training and the guidance with you, maybe it's going to take a while to, get to a point where you can own your confidence. You can be confident, you can, because I think it's something that's especially difficult for women. I think where there's something just hardwired, maybe it's social conditioning or something, that we're just hardwired to be diminutive, small tiny things. Oh, I shouldn't take up the space, oh, I shouldn't speak. And I mean, is that something in particular you can target in the creative processes and the workshops and that sort of thing? I mean, how would you maybe approach that sort of problem?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, yes, as women, we are hardwired to be nurturers. The man is the gatherer, the woman is the nurturer. But we both have, men and women, we both have masculine and feminine energies, right? And, like in a lot of ways, women have had to tap into their masculine energy in the last few decades. Okay, think about it. I'm not sure about your parents and your grandparents, but I know mine were either worked from home, like we had a little small grocery store my mom worked in. My grandmother didn't at all. She took care of like the 9 children, right? And it was that she was the nurturer, the caretaker. That's what we're hardwired for. But in the last several decades, 4 or 5 decades, women have had to tap into their masculine energy quite strongly to survive in that man's corporate world, in the business world. So, we really have surpassed in that way, in so many ways, of having to be able to be driven, and be focused and get the job done and all of these things. And what has happened as a result is that we have denied a lot of our nurturing feminine energy, which also involves self-care.
Yeah.
Right, taking care of ourselves. We've kind of forgotten about that in so many ways because we've had to be so focused on our masculine energy. But here's the thing that I feel a shift in the last decade or so is that the feminine is rising. The feminine energy is rising. The planet needs it. Mother Earth is crying. We're witnessing that right now. So, I mean, this feminine energy of care is becoming so much more important than it ever was. It's becoming more visible. The need for it, the need to have more of a balanced approach, for men and for women. There's a lot of men out there suffering because they're not allowed to experience their feelings. They're not allowed to process. They're not allowed to feel. They have been so focused, masculine energy, but they have the feminine energy as well, right? So there's a shift happening. I honestly believe in planetary shift happening right now. And, in all seriousness, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And I believe the feminine energy is on a rise. So women, and I hope men equally, are starting to understand that we do need to take self-care. And something, once you start taking care of yourself, once you start honoring who you are, once you start having more respect for the body, the person, the mind, the soul that you are, confidence starts to grow. Just that one thing, if you just increase self-care, if you give yourself that 5 minutes sitting by the water in thought, just for yourself, you're not having to think about your kids or your parents or your job or your what, just giving yourself that time, picking some wildflowers and putting them in front of your desk, on your desk or on your bedside, or, just something that makes you smile. That's self-care. Self-care doesn't have to be, going for a weekly massage and a pedicure and a manicure. That's lovely. Don't get me wrong. That's lovely. But we can do so many tiny little things of self-care that helps us honor who we are, helps us respect who we are, which helps us build confidence in who we are. That I think that's really, really important. I actually created a painting called Virago about this a few years ago. It's an image of a very feminine looking woman, and it's because I strongly feel that we need to tap into that feminine part of ourselves, and bring that out more. Virago, by the way, is a Greek word. I don't know if you're familiar. It's Joan of Arc, for example, was a virago. But a virago is a female that is, in a sense, really more masculine, or visibly masculine, very, very strong, confident, and has a lot of masculine characteristics, like Joan of Arc, for example, right? But in my painting, Virago, while I'm honoring that, I'm also saying, let's not forget about the feminine. Let's not forget about her. Let's bring some balance back to the picture again, And that is kind of owning all of who we are, Paula, right? Owning everything that is us, all parts of ourselves, right?
And just thinking about that sense of identity, maybe that's a very clunky segue, but that sense of identity, I was wondering if you would like to tell us a bit about your branding as well, because I think you're in that process of shifting that a little bit, because you have been operating under Amo Artworks and working on the art of awareness. And you're shifting into something it was your name anyway, but it's now more overtly your name that you're working under. Is that right?
Yes. So I set up Amo Artworks 3 years ago when I started painting, and I honestly, I don't go at anything halfways. When I cracked that shell through painting, I was prolific that first year.
Wow.
I actually painted 138 paintings that first year and sold almost all of them.
Wow.
So I had to set up a company quickly, to do that. And Amo Artworks was born from there. Now, Amo is my initials, Anne Michelle Myrick Olson. When I married an Olson in 2015, my initials became Amo. I don't use Anne, never really have, except when I was teaching in the Middle East. They called me Miss Annie because there was on my name tag Anne, and they pronounce also phonetically there. So I was like on another planet in Saudi Arabia, and I was like I was a different person, Miss Annie. That's a story in itself. That's in the book as well.
Yeah.
But I guess got sidetracked then. But yeah, okay. So Amo Artworks was set up as a company to sell my paintings, right? And then of course I started writing books, recording CD. So it's still art, So I said, okay, that's all right. Amo Artworks will still work for.
This This has been Audiovisual Cultures with me, Paula Blair, and my very special guest, Michelle Myrick. Please do sign up for Michelle's free online workshop on using art to embody awareness, taking place on the 15th of August. You can do so at www.michellemyrick.com/art. The link for that will be in the show notes wherever you're accessing this episode. I do hope to see you there. As ever, the music is Common Ground by Airtone, used under a 3.0 non-commercial Creative Commons license. Please help support the podcast with a membership at patreon.com/AVcultures or one-off donations to buymeacoffee.com/PEA Blair. Given my recent technical hiccups, these will be appreciated more than ever. Take care of yourselves and be excellent to each other. Thank you so much for listening. Take care and catch you next time.